Hey friends, I'm Timmy, and today, thanks to the awesome team over at Proletariat, we've been given an early access sneak peek preview of Chapter 3 to show you guys what it's all about. First things first, the main menu screen has been completely overhauled with more of that gorgeous art that we've all come to love and expect from this team. Something I'm personally very excited about is that they have finally given us the option to create cosmetic loadouts for each class. So now when you're out there slinging flames, you can look the part. Loadouts will automatically apply to your chosen set of looks after you've selected the class that it's applied to. And of course, get excited for all of the incredible cosmetics coming this chapter because believe it or not, they kicked it up a few notches, y'all. It's crazy. On that note, one of the biggest changes you can expect to notice as soon as you drop into the Hollowlands is that things look quite a bit different from Chapter 2. Every single Dominion map except for Dustpool has been updated significantly, with Banehelm, Hemwood, and Bogmore getting the most significant changes. I personally really enjoy the Banehelm and Bogmore point changes a lot, as they are less open and really allow the feeling of fortification when you're defending your point. On to the core mechanic changes, and oh boy, this is a big one. Proletariat has really leaned into the idea that at its core, Spellbreak is all about high mobility and precise projectile-based aiming. In an effort to facilitate that idea and mindset, they've dialed back some of the changes that have reduced movement in the past and have given us some exciting stuff in their place. For instance, definitely one of the most significant changes this chapter has got to be that crouch has been removed, and in its place, we now have a dodge mechanic. The dodge will be bound to the left control by default and will offer a 1.5 second cooldown. There will be no mana cost, however, you will have a slight air friction and movement speed penalty after dodging to prevent spamming. It's also to be noted that the dodge cannot be used vertically, meaning you cannot dodge up or down. Lastly, you can dodge into and out of rune abilities. And y'all, this feels amazing. It really allows for some really cool combinations that you will definitely surprise your enemies and maybe even surprise yourself. Levitation also gets some love in this update, as it has had its velocity lowered slightly, but has completely lost its momentum penalty, meaning you can completely stop downward momentum when falling just by levitating. It also has a constant upward speed now and feels really nice to use in game. You may end up not missing the ledge as often as you were before. Base movement speed in Battle Royale has also been buffed to the same base speed as Dominion now, which was desperately needed in my opinion and just makes sense overall. In terms of physics and just how the game feels, I'm happy to report that some of the floaty gravity changes from our previous update has been slightly reverted. Gravity has been increased by 10%, and that coupled with the dodge plus levitation changes should make you a little less vulnerable against those pesky frost lances and allow you for some more options during combat. Spellbreak now has a centered camera. This was done to prevent some issues that you find prevalent in some third-person shooters where aiming is either blocked by environments or just feels off in one way or another. You can revert back to legacy camera in-game options if you're having trouble adjusting, but after getting some hands-on experience with this change, I can confidently say it only took me about half a match of Dominion before I was hitting those frosty snipes again, and overall, the change feels great. They've also reduced the default vertical field of view slightly, but that can also be reverted by adjusting it to max settings in the game options. Speaking of game options, another small change, but one I've been asking for since day one of Dominion is we now have a scoreboard. That's right, we have a scoreboard in Dominion. The default key for that is I. Make sure you use it and enjoy. In terms of balance and stat changes for gauntlets, runes, or talents, I'll let you all check out all of that information at the link in the description below, but I did want to touch on a few key changes that you'll probably want to know before hopping into a match. Projectiles have been optimized and should feel much better in terms of visual indications and actual hitbox connections. The lightning gauntlet has been improved significantly, in my opinion. More bloom has been added and now makes the gauntlet feel more in line like an assault rifle instead of a DMR or railgun. Long range will require more burst shots to maintain accuracy, while at close range, you can feel a little bit more free to just let loose and punish your opponent. Interestingly, they've also added a repeating spread pattern. This will allow for a bit more of a learning curve while mastering this gauntlet and cause it to not be such a laser sometimes. Wind will also be more difficult to hit, reducing the amount of spam you should expect in your matches and bring the gauntlet more in line with what the devs envisioned. Lastly, changes have been made to reduce the effectiveness of AoE abilities in general, specifically Dragonfire. Overall, it seems we're getting a bit of less vertical movement in trade for horizontal movement. In my opinion, more movement is a step in the correct direction for sure, but I also think vertical movement is one of the aspects that really helps Spellbreak stand out as something unique and allows for some of the coolest plays to perform and to watch. I think it could even be something that allows Proletariat to create maps and arenas that other games just can't. So let's hope that we don't lose vertical movement altogether. Alright y'all, after getting some hands-on time with Spellbreak's Chapter 3 and having the opportunity to play for a few hours, these are my honest thoughts. The movement changes are fun, but after about an hour and a half of playing, I felt pretty familiar with them and how they work. While they felt good to play with and the action was fine, it wasn't any more fun than Spellbreak was in previous chapters for me. The fact that we are still only playing Dominion and Battle Royale makes me sad, and the fact that Ranked is still on Dominion mode seems completely tone deaf to the community and player base. Custom mode coming back to Chapter 3 with 0 changes is beyond my comprehension. Customs is something that allows players to show you how they want to play your game, and in Spellbreak specifically, there was a very strong competitive scene that has completely had to stop running their events due to matchmaking changes. You would think that they could use the custom mode to further their passion for this game and the community, but actually, Customs was released without spectator mode or the ability to change any options at all in Chapter 2, and it's the exact same in Chapter 3. I think they are attempting to make Dominion better by changing core mechanics to the game instead of just making a better suited mode, and that just doesn't make sense to me. Lightning, wind, and AoE changes are all great steps in the right direction, and I'm really excited about those specific gauntlets getting fixed, as in my opinion, they've been issues for a very long time. The Spellbreak art team is 11 out of 10, and I would pit them against any other team out there for sure, without question. If I find myself grinding this season at all, it'll most likely be to unlock those sweet cosmetics that they've been working on this whole time. I think Proletariat is really relying on their lore quest and chapter pass cosmetics to drive people to play, and I think that will work for probably about half the chapter, similar to Chapter 2, unless they can bring us something new and worth grinding for during the entire duration of this chapter. I don't think any serious competitive players will come back to grind rank on Dominion at all unless they just want the title and badge rewards, simply because most of the competitive players I know, and even a lot of non-competitive players, agree that Dominion is just not a good competitive mode for a game like Spellbreak. That being said, I was only allowed to play Dominion during my preview time, so I'm excited to try out BR and see all the new changes and specifically how they treat quests and story this chapter. If they take a note from Fortnite and start doing live lore-based events, that could be huge for the community, and it's something I would really like to see for this game. Without customs, I'm hoping that matchmaking changes allow for us to host stacked solos again, because I really just want to play with the community. I want to play against other good players or give them the stage to show other players what's possible in this game, or grind towards a meaningful goal, not an arbitrary number that just signifies how much time you can spend putting up with the mode that in my opinion just doesn't belong in the game anyway. If those things don't happen, I'm not sure how motivated I will be to play Chapter 3. But anyways, those are my honest thoughts and a breakdown of everything coming through in Chapter 3, releasing today. So go hop on the game and let me know. I'll see you guys in the HoloLens for sure. We're also going to be running a official Spellbreak merchandise giveaway all throughout the first week of release of Chapter 3. So if you guys are in the stream chat, you'll be able to enter in that giveaway and maybe get yourself some official merch and represent the passion out there on the streets. But anyway, you guys, thanks so much for watching the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like, share it around to your friends, spread the word. Chapter 3 is here, and there's a lot of cool stuff coming through. I'm anxious, and I'm ready to see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the sub button for more content like this, and y'all have a great day. See ya.